Hey guys, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a cool little racing game with some interesting card play, and that game is called LaCorsa Grand Prix game. LaCorsa is a game for 2 to 6 players from Rasa Games. And what you're doing in this is you are taking on the role of a cool little car, which we'll come back to later. And you're trying to basically win a race. You're going to be doing that by having a hand of 13 cards, which are going to have different amounts of numbers. And you're going to be trying to get the highest card compared to the car in front of you that you're trying to race against. High card moves your card forward. Or high card, if you're in the front, you beat the person who's trying to pass you. Simple game, but it's a little deeper than that. So let's go down to the table, check it out. All right, so here's a game of LaCorsa, all set up for 4 players. To set up, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to unfold this cool little racetrack board, which is just, a little 3 pieces of wood with some stretchy pieces, so you can store it in the box and put it on the table. Then, depending on how you're playing, 3 to 6 players, you can divvy up across teams or individual races. What I'm doing here is I'm doing 4 players, white, green, red, and blue, and I'm going to mark which decks of cards are with the other car of that type, so you always know kind of what's going on, or whose cards are what. Then you're going to separate the cards that come with the game to 1 suit of cards for each player that's playing. So there's 4 players, so I have 4 suits of cards of 13 cards, I believe, and you're going to shuffle them, and then you're going to give each player 13. So that's all set up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to follow these regulations right here to get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to qualify. So for qualifying, we are going to look at our hand and find our best card, because that's going to determine the position that we're going to be starting the race. So let's look at blue here. So the cards are going to be 10, 9, like 4 through 11 are just numbers, no special powers. 1, 2, and 3 are going to be an extend card. Can also be used as a regular movement card. I'll talk about extending later. There's going to be 12s, which are champions, the highest card. And there's also going to be a red line card that you can play with another card. That's the only card that you can play with something else that doesn't play by itself. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking a card or a card and a red line card, and you're going to put it down here. We're going to flip simultaneously, and we'll see who has the highest number. If there's a tie, we'll do a roll off. So let's go ahead. So let's say they really want to get in first. So they're going to do a 10. These would normally be face down, but just to, show you guys what's going on, I'm not going to do that. Then this player, they have some good cards. I think they're going to try this 11. Again, you don't know what everybody's playing. You're just placing these all face down. You're just trying to do your best. They're actually going to do their 11 or their 10 and the red line card. Red line adds 2. So what you do there is you're going to put them down like this, so it doesn't look, so no one knows what you're playing. And then when you reveal, you'd show it. So they'll do that. And then the red player, they're going to put down a 12 as well. All right. So that's the qualifying. Now what we're going to do is we're going to resolve. So the highest 2 are the 12s. So what they're going to do is they're going to have to roll off. So we'll start with white. They're going to roll. They get a 2, then red. They get a 1. So white will be the leader. So they'll start here. Oh, wrong car. So white will be the leader. Then we'll go to red. Then we'll go to green. Then we'll go to blue. All right. So now that that's out of the way, we can start racing. So we'll move to regulations. Number 3. Race start. So what happens here is the race is going to start with the car that's in last place. And on your turn, you're going to be challenging the car in front of them. So blue will be first. Same thing. You're going to go through your deck and you're going to pick any card that you want. They really want to pass that card, so they're going to play this 12. Again, it's face down, so no one knows what you're playing. Then green is going to play a card. They need to try to win, because if they get passed, then they're done for the round. So let's see, they really don't want to get past, so they're going to waste it. Nope, they don't know what they're going to play, but they don't think they're going to play something that high, so they will play a 9. So they both flip over. Green sees the blue play to 12. That's no good. So blue then passes green. Green's turn is done for the lap. That's it. They don't do anything else. Then blue can challenge another player. You can keep going until you've won 2 races or you've lost a challenge. Or you've won 2 challenges or you've lost a challenge. So then blue will go again. They're going to be challenging red now. So blue will play a 10. Again, face down. Just going to keep saying that so you know that that's how the game is played. And red's going to play an 11 because they think that's pretty good. So, and it is good. So they flip their cards. Red would play an 11, blue would play a 10. So blue would lose. Their turn's now done. So now, red, because they won that challenge, the winner of the challenge always goes next. Red is going to take on white to try to get in first place. So red will take their cards back. And they're going to go ahead and play this 12 with the red line. Again, face down. You flip them up when you're done. So that's effectively a 14. And then white is going to do the same thing. They're going to play. They will play... Oof. They're going to play these two because they saw them. They played. They're going to try to do the best they can. They're going to play 13. So red will overtake white. And that's that. Now, because red has won 2 challenges, nothing else would happen. But if red would only win 1 challenge, they have another option, which will be on regulation 5. So if you've only won 1 challenge and you're in first place, you have a couple options. You can extend. So the way that would work is red would look through their cards and they would either play a 1 or a 2. There's also a 3 that can extend, but the first place person cannot extend with a 3. So let's say they didn't win the 2. I just want to show you this. So they'll go ahead and play a 1, and that would move them up 1 space. Then everybody behind them would also have to extend in order to keep the race competitive in the next lap. So let's look at white. They can extend using a 3. That's fine. So they'll go ahead and do that. They'll play their 3. Then we'll go to blue. Blue will play an extend. Then we'll go to green. And green will do the same thing. So they're extending. So everybody extended. If red couldn't have extended, they have to discard any card in their hand. So if you can't play basically 2 cards in the round, you're always going to be discarding 1 at the end of the lap. Then that's the end of lap 1. Then we're going to do it all again. So green would go, so on and so forth. You keep going until everyone in the race has either won 2 challenges or lost whatever. And then what you're going to do is when one person is out of cards, when one car is out of cards, the lap is going to finish. Then you're going to score. So let's go ahead and go to the scoring. So let's look right here. Cars that are in first place get 9 points, second gets 6, third gets 4, fourth would get 3. And you can track those. If you want to do like a championship, you can track them on this score pad. If you're doing teams, you can track them here. Or if you just want to play 1 race and be done, you can do that too. So if this is how it ended, red was in the front, they would be the leader because they got first place. Doesn't matter about points at that point. So that is how you play LaCorsa. Let's go up the top, see what we think about it. All right, well, that was LaCorsa Grand Prix game. This is a cool little game. I'm kind of into racing games. Love Homestretch. Love Camel Up. So when I saw this one, I reached out and said, hey, I'd really love to review this game. I'm into racing games. I think the cars are adorable, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And this would be cool for our audience. I think they might dig it. So we'd love to cover it. So they sent us a copy, and you get to check it out. So let's talk about the components of this game. So this game is effectively these cool little cars. Like I showed in the overview, there's a plain color of the car. And then there's also a car that has a yellow stripe or a colored stripe down it in case you wanted to play with the same colors or you were on a team or whatever. You could do that. Or if you're playing 4 players, you can have a car in front of you to keep track of what's going on. The other cool thing that I didn't really show off too much, I talked about it, is this racetrack. It folds up like this to get it in the box, which is pretty slick. So, you're going to be folding it out. Make sure all the sides that have the different color squares are up and get racing. That's really neat. The cards they kind of look like Meal-Born cards. I don't know if you've ever seen Meal-Born cards, but they're just like cards with like pretty stark art. And that's kind of how these look. So here's a 9 of the blue suit. I'm not sure. Like gear shifter. Here's a 5 of pistons. A 3 of, I don't know, GPS. I'm not sure what the symbols are, but yeah, it's really cool. And then the cards that are special, they have words on them. So extend shows what it does. The red line card shows +2, shows what it does. Easy to read, easy to understand. So no complaints on there. The card quality is pretty good. They're linen finish, which is always awesome. I dig that. The backs look like a race car, a racetrack, which is cool. I dig. There's also this scoring pad, which I haven't used. I've just been playing individual racing games because that's how I like to roll. But if you wanted to make a night of it and do 7 races, or 2 races and then a total, you can do that too. Nice score pad. So yeah, the components I can't complain about. Also, these like rules cards that give you kind of a summary of what's going on are amazing. Like, it's basically the rule book down into 7 cards, which is awesome. I dig that quite a bit. This is a cool game. It's fun. It's easy to play. It's not super mean. I mean, it's no meaner than any other simultaneous action game where people are playing cards and flipping it, and whatever happens, happens. A little bit of luck during the qualifying with the die. So if you spend a lot of cards, like the couple players did where they were playing 2 red line cards and they tied, that's a little rough. So there is that, but I don't mind it. It's one time in the game. The only time you're using that die. If there's a tie when you're racing, the defender wins. So there is that. So yeah, I like it. It's a cool game. I'll keep it around to play, as like a filler maybe while I'm waiting to play a bigger game of the night and just have some fun, or play with non-gamers. Because this is a game that you can teach pretty quickly. Say, hey, you got to play the high card. High card moves your car forward. High card wins. If you're in first place, you need to extend and keep going. Pretty easy to teach. So yeah, I dig it. So that's LaCorsa Grand Prix game. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.